Hello, who are you and what do you do?
Hi, I'm Ziva Rebbe. I'm social media and community manager at Tribute Games.
Awesome. And what are you showing off today? There might be a clue behind us.
I don't know. We might be showing off Scott Pilgrim EX, our two beautiful first two playable characters, Scott and Ramona, as we all know them.
Hard-hitting, quick questions early. Why does Scott Pilgrim support violence against vegans?
I knew this was coming. Okay, the reason is jealousy. Apparently, vegans don't sweat, and that is simply unacceptable, and it's not fair to everybody else. So, truly, they had it coming.
So if you get rid of all of the vegans in the world, then there's no one to be better than us,
Exactly.
is what you're saying.
Then everybody sweats, and so then we're all the same.
I feel like I would be sweating after that amount of slaughter.
I know, I'm sweating at this point.
Okay, another hard-hitting one. Is Scott Pilgrim a bad boyfriend?
Oof, that depends. What kind of boyfriend are you looking for? Are you looking for an emotionally available one? Because I don't think he's the right guy for you then. Or are you looking for one who maybe will slightly gaslight you in an attempt to better himself? Listen, he's making an effort, and that's all that matters. So he's got his flaws, and a lot of it is him going through his story to try to rectify those flaws, but he's definitely a flawed character. You leave him alone. He's doing his best, okay. I would say the answer to that is no.
No.
Short answer.
You get to pass.
At least it's, for me, he'll be fine.
If you had to date any of the evil exes, who would you pick and why?
Gosh. I'll give two. I'm going to start with my girl Roxy, honestly. We love a strong, badass woman who knows what she wants. And then I do love a beautiful bicep on a man. So I would say Lucas as well.
That feels on brand for this game for some reason. Why would that be?
Yeah.
Might they also feature in this game in some form?
Roxy and Lucas, I don't know. Yes. So those are the two new characters that we're announcing here at Gamescom, and a little bit after Gamescom, actually. So we're announcing Roxy and Lucas Lee as the two exes that you'll be fighting with, and you may fight with other characters that you know from the story, but for right now, it's got Ramona, Roxy, and Lucas Lee that you'll be able to play as, and then there'll be 7 playable characters by the time the game comes out.
Can you tell us why the exes might be teaming up with them?
So we have a brand new antagonist to this story. So never before seen in Scott Pilgrim. It's Metal Scott, who has come in here and kidnapped the members of the Sex Bombs. He's stolen the instruments, and they have a show tonight in Toronto. So we had to pull in, it's kind of like pulling in the strongest of the fighters, because we fought them, so we know how strong they are. So we need the strongest of the fighters to fight this new force in Metal Scott.
Excellent. If Scott Pilgrim's band were a real-life band and they were a cover band,
Okay.
why would they be covering Oasis?
That's a really good question. I'm more of a Muse girly, so I see them covering Muse more because they have very hard-hitting songs about going against the status quo, and I think that's kind of what Scott Pilgrim is about. So I see them more as a Muse cover band, but I think that's a very subjective and personal choice. Mm-hmm. So maybe controversial, but that's my take on that.
Excellent. Could you rank, maybe there's too many, 7's too many, let's say the top 4 exes based on how okay they would be being a third wheel on a date?
Oh my gosh, that's such a good question. Okay, well, he's not a playable character, but I would say Young Neil is the peak third wheel for he basically third wheels the entire game, honestly. Well, not the entire game, the entire movie and a lot of the comics. So I'd say Young Neil. Out of the exes, I feel like Lucas probably wouldn't care because he's in his own world. Everything's about him anyway, so he would just think that the other two are second wheels to him.
That's the great way to approach any date where you're the third wheel. You're no, you're second wheeling me.
Exactly. That would be his thought process, so I think he would probably do something like that. And then out of the other exes, I'd say Roxy, because she's too cool to care. She doesn't care. She's just there to be cool and have awesome eyeliner.
Some slightly more serious questions now. How difficult was it to get the band together to produce this game? Because the Scott Pilgrim license has been through a whirlwind. Was it a challenge for this whole project to come together?
You would think, but we actually had less difficulty than we thought, because actually Brian reached out to us after having a discussion with Universal, because it was kind of a natural progression after the Netflix series and after the first game had been out for quite a while to kind of move on to retelling a new story through the medium of video games. And Universal was like, hey Brian, are you ready to start a new game? And he was like, I've got just the people, because the team of Tribute, part of the team of Tribute came from that team that worked on the initial game. And so they had worked with Anima Noguchi already, with Paul Robertson, and at that point it was like, who else can you work with but this team to create this story?
Nice. Side-scrolling beat-em-ups, I feel like a lot of people have in their head an idea of what that means, especially in pixel art ones, but it feels like you're trying to introduce a few new concepts, new ideas with this game. Can you sort of talk about why you wanted to make the additions and what the main ones are?
Absolutely. So as you saw in our demo, we've added some RPG-esque aspects to this game. I wouldn't call it an RPG. The word I've been using is adventure brawler. I think that gives you an idea. You have a map that you can go through and explore. You've got quests. You've got like some light backtracking, so having to go back and forth between different locations to bring items to different characters that you'll meet. There's a whole store system. You go in there, you can buy food, you can buy badges and accessories to kind of build a character build, which is very RPG-esque. And then each character has their attributes. So Scott is kind of like an all-arounder. You've got Lucas, who's a bit of a brawler. He comes with extra strength from the start. So you've got all those aspects, and we wanted to really use this medium that we love so much, which is beat-em-ups, and that traditional side-scrolling beat-em-up, and kind of elevate it and bring in aspects of other games that we really like to kind of put them in. So like some of our older games, Mercenary Kings, has aspects of that RPG style with the weapon customization. So we have experience with that, so we wanted to marry the two things that we love the most and create something brand new and exciting and hopefully fun for people who are new to beat 'em ups, who want a different experience while also getting the essence of a beat 'em up.
Nice. And what was the genre you described it as there? An adventure crawler, was it?
An adventure brawler.
Adventure
so you're
brawler.
brawling,
Yeah.
but it's also an adventure that you're getting to pick, and it's an open world in the sense that, of course, there's limits to it. We're not like, you know, huge open world, but you can go back at any time. There's nothing forcing you to always go to the right. There's a lot of those elements in there. So adventure, and then you are still beating people up for money.
Of course, as we all are in life, yeah.
That's how I get my money. So.
Of the characters that have been revealed so far, which one is your favorite?
Ooh. I probably have to say Lucas. He has, so each character has like a striker ability, and he probably has one of my favorites. He literally like calls in some of his stunt doubles, and they stun the entire scene, and then you do a little bit more damage. So I think that's so theatric, and it's so cinematic, and it's so Lucas. So of course, when you're working with Brian, you're gonna end up having the characters being exactly who they are. We're not straying from all of that, and so I absolutely love that about his abilities. So definitely
Awesome.
Lucas.
Is he your favorite overall, or are there other ones that you can't reveal yet that you're like, no, this one's my favorite and I can't wait people to see it?
Well, good try, because if I wouldn't be able to tell you. So he's my favorite of the ones that we have right now, but who knows about the rest? Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe they're good, maybe they're terrible. We'll never know.
Maybe they're all the best characters you've ever seen, and you'll need to play the game to find out.
Awesome. And do we have a release date for Scott Pilgrim EX?
We have an estimated release date of 2026. So that's all you're going to get for now. But of course, we'll have a more clear release date as the time comes.